What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be changing out the 6.5s in the back of the car. Also, I'm going to be taking out all of that old wiring that was left behind for the old subwoofer, the amplifier, and all that stuff, because all that was done wrong. So let's do it right. So as I showed you guys in a previous video, I'm going to be changing out these 6.5s. What I'm talking about is the speakers in the back. Alright, now I did take some pictures, kind of crawling up under here. I haven't really messed with these yet. I can see it, somebody's already tapped in. This is called, see a little red piece right there on that wire? That's called a T-tap. The orange and the yellow wire goes to the speaker, but then they did a bridge for some reason. I don't know. I haven't taken this panel out yet. All this stuff I'm probably going to pull off and see what they did with the wiring. And then tap it directly into the actual stock wiring for the vehicle, so I can hook up the actual Alpines that I plan on putting in here. And this side over here, clearly they haven't really messed with it, but it looks like the cover's been removed. Now this blue wire, let me talk about this. This is a ground, okay? And I don't know exactly what gauge this is. Looks like a 4 gauge. Yeah. 4 gauge, 4GA, right there. That's a big wire. So they had some pretty decent subs back here, but frankly, this ground, this is actually supposed to be down lower or hidden or just put away. You know, if it's exposed like this, and that RCA cable and that blue signal wire, if all these are exposed, I mean, it looks like a poor install. So I'm gonna take all those out. Frankly, I don't know the status of these wires, but I do know that they are coming out to date. I'm not 100% on how the power wire is, but I'm gonna double check and make sure that both of those are stock before I mess with those, because chances are they took the power wire that goes to those. They took that with them when they took the sound system out. Alright, let me tell you something. I don't know exactly where all these wires are going, but this is your RCA cable. This cable is supposed to go on one side of the vehicle, right along with, actually this needs to go over with the power wire. But these here, I believe, yeah, if I'm right, yeah, they got to be separate, okay? So one wire has to go on one side of the car, while the other wire goes on the other side. You'll start hearing a high whine whenever you turn the volume up and down. But anyway, this was done wrong. I don't know about these wires. I don't trust them. So out they come. Everything comes out. So first things first, that is a Phillips screwdriver. So let's go ahead and take this out. Start making this thing all clean. Get rid of this. Alright, let me tell you something right now. This was a really poor ground. And I'll tell you exactly why. Yes, he may have tapped directly into it with a self-tap, but the problem is, you see that surface? Look how clean that is. That is not clean at all. They just scraped it with a freaking screwdriver. That is not how you do a ground. It is not how you do a ground. Alright, you have to sand the surface to have a flush contact. This is paint right here, guys. They scratch the paint and then they put a drill through it. That's stupid. You don't do that. That's wrong. That's how I know the whole thing's done wrong. I mean, these wires, they could be together on one side. Who knows? I don't know. But right away, just by seeing how the ground wire was put in, that was stupid. Ugh. It's probably done like at home from somebody who doesn't know what they're doing. Anyway, trash. Okay, let's go ahead and get this out of here, because I don't know what the deal is with that. And all of this, all this stuff I'm going to take down, but it looks like it's connected over here by a couple push pins, which look like they are probably standard. I don't know. I've never messed with these before. I can already see that speaker wire. You see that blue wire? That's RCA. That tells me that it goes around on the driver's side of the vehicle. And down there, that's your signal wire. It's going, or the power wire for the radio itself. That's going to go on the passenger side. Which, I guess, you know what, it would be okay, because if the RCA is on one side of the vehicle and the power for the signal, your signal wire to the head unit goes back here to the alternator, to the amplifier is back here. If those are separate, that's okay, because this is a rear mounted battery. Now, if the battery was in the front of the car, that'd be a totally different story. But since the battery is back here, I think this is an okay setup. But frankly, I don't know how old the whole system is set up. Not to mention, I don't like where they put that wire right there. And I'll show you here in just a moment. But let me go ahead and take down the rest of this interior, because I've never messed with this before. Alright, y'all, I got those out. They were just plastic screws. Now, I dropped this down, and let me show you what happens when you get lazy and you don't put your wires where they need to be or tuck them away correctly. You get that crap. Just bunched up wires. It's just bunched up. That's all it is. Come on. They did the same crap on my truck. I mean, I have a previous video. I'll probably attach a link down below to that video. But whoever installed some of these, they just didn't do exactly the greatest job in the world. So I'm a little terrified to see what else I get into. So after taking out the back panel, where's my finger? There it is. After taking out the back panel, I also took off the side panel that was over here. It's got clips that hold it in. Now let me tell you something. Before you get into all this stuff, go get one of these. Okay, this is a plastic pin or plastic push pin puller. They use these to pop the doors, pop the pins off your doors. Door panels, so you can pull them away and change out speakers or get to a lock mechanism, but whatever. But the plastic pins, get this. This is a godsend, I'm telling you. Fantastic tool. And it's stupid cheap. I mean, if you can't find it at AutoZone, they got it at Harbor Freight. In fact, I think that I got this one at Harbor Freight. But yeah, this thing is fantastic. All right, upon further dissection of the back of this, all right, RCA cable, it stops here. And then it comes up to this funky little box thingamadoodad. And as you turn it, it says, line output converter, 10-to-1 reduction. Now, I don't know what the hell that is. I've never seen that in all my years of doing this stuff. And they tapped into, one of the speakers, but they also left it exposed up here, which, in my opinion, looks kind of bad because it's exposed, and you shouldn't have anything like that exposed. A lot of the things in here I'm not familiar with. I'm assuming this is probably a ground of some sort, but I have yet to dig into that. Now, the other side, I took this panel off. I know this looks a little scary, but don't worry about it. I'm not getting into this. All right. The only thing I wanted to point out is they went through that wall over there. You can see where they pulled the grommet down, but then they just left it there. In fact, that grommet is actually on there backwards. I don't know if you can see. You see that? It's on there backwards, guys. So they ran it up backwards. That grommet is supposed to seal that hole, which would keep all water or any moisture that's back here from going inside of the vehicle. Now that's just stupid. That tells me again, this is done poorly. All right. Now this wire goes directly to the engine itself, which I'm assuming would probably go to the starter and all the other engine components that require power or direct power, like the fuse block and all that. Also, for your well, pretty much it just goes to the engine. Okay, this one goes to the engine. This, I'm assuming, is probably another fuse block of some sort. I'm not going to tap into that. I have no business being in there. But I'm not seeing an inline fuse for a subwoofer. So that tells me, and the connections here look pretty fresh. So, and those aren't extended fuses, not fuses, extended bracket for a fuse. So they didn't add, or at least it doesn't look like it. Okay, I guess I can open up this. Is this how you do it? I don't know, I never messed with this before. How do you open this? Oh, I'm gonna break it. Don't break it, Scott. Don't break it. I'm terrified I'm gonna break this shit. Okay, up, down, wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Usually wiggling works. I dropped it. Come here. All right. So this is, it looks like a fuse. This is a type of fuse. I'm not sure. I've never seen one anything like this before. I honestly don't know what that is all about. I've never messed with this before. Okay, all this is all new to me. But if I was the installer, I would tap my power directly into this post somehow, somewhere on here. And this looks like it's going up to the front yet again, which is up into the firewall again. And that stock, it hasn't been messed with. So the only thing that's been messed with was that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out that blue wire. I'm going to take it out of here. And all this here, I'm going to coil it up. I'm going to unplug this. And today we're going to focus on the 6.5s that are up on the top right here and right there. And that's pretty much it. Now the next video that I'll probably have will be me replacing the shocks, and well, the shocks on this car, because they're bad and they're completely gone. And I have had so many ideas of what to do for a funny video, and I mean, it's not gonna be like this is how you put it together. It's gonna be something fun to throw together. I don't know. But yeah, let me go ahead and clean all this stuff up. I'm gonna take that blue wire out. Ooh, that's right. Let me show you where that goes. You know, all this talking and stuff. Yeah. All right, look. Let me. Okay, y'all saw where that blue wire went, right? It is now exposed. It goes under here, and then I'm assuming you take the seat up, which I could probably do. You know, I'll do that here in a minute. But it goes up to the front. It's exposed. This is a bad way to do it, guys. You just don't do that. Let's set this up here. And you see, this is all in between the seats, the passenger side. It goes up to the front. It goes up underneath the glove box. And if I open up this glove box, right? See it wire finds its way up in here. Turn these pins like so. There you go. Come on. I'm gonna pop one and then you pop the other. And then the fuse block falls. Now are you seeing this? Are you seeing this? Around that 7.5 amp fuse, the red one. They have the wire wrapped around that sucker. It is not supposed to be there. Look at that. You don't do that, guys. That is a poor way to do it. I'm gonna leave that disconnected. The proper way to do that is you take that wire. Sorry, got dirt on the. There we go. You take that wire and you go up inside the dash. Well, first off, from the very back that goes to the amplifier, you take the signal wire, tucks away like it's supposed to be stock, you know, and run that along the baseboards, and you take it all the way into the dashboard and then behind the head unit, or at least the aftermarket head unit that you plan to put in. And there is a connection to hook it up to that. The same goes for the RCAs, which is those two blue wires that are down there that I'm going to pull out. Those wires are supposed to go to the other side and run along the car, along the baseboard, and then into the dashboard and behind the head unit. All that's supposed to be connected like that. But here, I guess they didn't know exactly what they were doing. They just kind of threw stuff together. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and just pull all this. You know what? I'm just gonna pull it. All right, you know what? Let me see if I can pull that seat out. Let me see if I can see that. Okay, all I did was I took the seat, kind of push it back. I thought it would, you know, undo that way. That's actually not the case. I kind of like this design. You just push straight down on it. Well, in this case, you put your fingers underneath it, and pop it straight up, and the seat comes out. That was probably the easiest ones I've ever taken out. Anyway, yeah, remember the wires that were up on the top? That's all your power wires going behind the seat belt and the seat. And then they drape right here along the side, and then that's what you were able to see before. I mean, how retarded is that? That, in my opinion, is a lazy installation. It's hot out here, or at least it is in this car. But in my opinion, that's a lazy installation. This is the worst way to do it, because I mean, what if somebody gets, you know, curious, ooh, what's this wire, and they go to pull on it and keep pulling on it while you're in the middle of a road trip, and out of nowhere, there goes your radio. So, okay, well, what happened? Well, I don't know, I was tugging on this wire, and then all of a sudden all the radio stopped, or all the music stopped. It's hot. But all the stuff I pulled out was, you know, back seat, the right side of the interior for the trunk, which is right there, the spare tire cover and the flooring, and then the left side. So that's basically all of what I had to pull out in order to access all the wires and stuff in here. It was actually really easy to get to. I figured it'd be just a slight bit difficult, but actually it's not. It's pretty simple, pretty easy, very simple installations. I guess that's why I kind of like this car, and how easy it is, or how simple it was. But that right there blew me away, is where they decided to hook it up to. That was stupid. My opinion, that was probably one of the dumbest things I've seen. Let's go ahead and pull that out. Let's get that crap out of there. No, ma'am. We ain't doing that. There we go. Alright, so let's close these. Later on, I will be getting into the door speakers of this, but I'm not going to mess with the door speakers just yet, because I need to replace the window motor on the driver's side, and when I do that, that's when I'll change out the other speaker on the other side. So let me go ahead and pull out all this wire. Let's just pull this out. We don't need this. We don't need this. This looks like garbage. Absolute garbage. Capital G garbage. Let's get rid of this. I'm gonna need that fuse though. Oh, come on. I will need that fuse, but this wire's gotta go. Goodbye. Bye, Felicia. Alright, wire extract number 2. Go ahead and disconnect you, because I don't like you. Bye-bye. Alright, that looks cleaner already. Kind of like that. Man, what I'd like to do is probably disconnect that wire if I can, and flip that grommet around and put it back in like it's supposed to. I would rather, because it's supposed to look like that, but instead it looks like that. Now you tell me, is that quality work? I'm all about quality. I'm OCD about this stuff. I mean, I can only be just so OCD with a car like this, but I like being clean, you know? Easy installations. Alright. Pressing on. Let me go ahead and get that converter thingamadoo box out and start installing the speakers. So now we're inside the car. Let's go ahead and start focusing on this for a few minutes. It is very difficult because I took out the seat and there's all kinds of brackets in here and they hurt, but I'm doing this for you guys, taking the pain. Alright, went ahead and I kind of popped this off last night, make it a little easier. That way this goes just a smidge faster. It looks as though it might be 8mm. I got the wrong socket. Oh, give me a second. I gotta go get an 8mm. Okay, so I was right. Where'd it go? Come here, right here. Focus. Nailed it. 8mm. Okay, I'm just gonna pop that loose. This one looks like it's already backed out. Are you kidding me? I didn't do this, guys. This is how I uncovered it. I uncovered it like this. I'm sorry. Yeah, I can just do this. What kind of BS is this? See, you know, when this is all done, it's gonna be done to my specifications, and it's gonna be nice and snug in here. I can't say for the clean part because the interior needs to be replaced. My opinion. Right there. I'm barely able to access this because it's look at so that's where we're at. I can grab this. I haven't moved this at all. This is my first time in here, so I really don't know exactly what to expect. Oh, it's a pretty hefty battery for that kind of speaker. All right, what we got? I just I think I can make that work. I got the connections here. All right, I'm gonna unplug this and then kind of attack it, I suppose, outside. Oh, wow. That is gone. Let's go ahead and unplug it. Let's see if I can do this right hand. All right, how are you supposed to come apart? Looks like you just pull straight down. Nope. How you go? Oh, you gotta squeeze it. All right. And then you push. Come here. Yes. All right, these inner tabs, the inside tabs, you squeeze them together, and then you push up on the speaker, and it comes out. All right, I'm gonna work this one out. But that's the wire that I'm going to use for the car because that's tied directly into the actual radio itself. So, come here, speaker. Goodbye. And I'm not planning on putting Harman Kardon back in this car, so there's no point. Yeah, you can see the emblem. I don't know if I could. Yeah, see that? BMW. They issued this. So this is probably the best looking speaker of the entire car. But unfortunately, it is not going to stay here. I'll probably bust these up. Damn it. I'll probably break these apart, and I'll actually take the magnets off. And what I do is sometimes I'll take the magnet and I'll put it in the bottom of my tool bag, or I'll mount it to the bottom of a toolbox. So if any nuts and bolts happen to fall in there, zip, they go right over to the magnet, and now you know where to find all your loose nuts and bolts. So food for thought. If you have like a portable tool bag, put a small speaker magnet like this in there. Not, of course, attached with the speaker. But if you do that, it actually attracts all the loose metal parts, like, you know, nuts, screws, bolts, things like that. And it works, trust me. All right, so let's go ahead and get right to these speakers. Come here, speakers. And these here, I'm probably going to do some quick fitment. And I'm going to save you guys a little bit of time, but I'm going to go ahead and take these out and then tinker with them really quick, and I'll be right back. Stay tuned for part 2 here on the SV Cruiser channel.